What if you could turn one single image into infinite camera angles and movement while maintaining perfect character consistency? After 200 plus generations, I'm going to show you the best method to control emotion and storytelling, and the hack that lets you generate 9 storytelling angles in just one generation. Plus, I'm giving away for free my complete Notion prompt library with more than 30 angles and camera movements with the exact prompt and when to use each one. So whether you're using free tools or paid ones, by the end of this video, you will be able to generate this type of video. Alright, so everything is starting with what I call the foundation image. This is your master shot, and this is the most critical steps in the whole process, because the foundation image will define everything: your character, your style, the aesthetic, the lighting, the clothing, etc. So you need to get it right. And as you can see in my case, I went with the Dune-inspired character. Now let me show you the free and the paid way to do this. So if you're going for the free route, you can use Google Gemini, as you can see here. It's completely free. You can use Nano Banana here, but it's a good way if you're starting off. If you're a beginner, you can try, you don't pay anything. So you can do as much generation as you want until you reach the daily limit. There is also Leonardo AI if you want to use it to create like photorealistic images. If you're going for the paid route, you can use Hexfield, which gives you unlimited generation with Nano Banana Pro, which is what I've done. But as you can see, at the beginning I started with just a simple man like that, inspired from the Dune universe. Then I wanted something a little bit more sci-fi with the blue eyes and with the head shaved. So I got results like this one, which were not that bad, but they were missing the real sci-fi element that for me made the whole difference, which is what I ended up with this one, because I love her tattoo. I love the blue glowing eyes. By the way, if you want to try this tool, so Hexfield, you have a link in the description below. You can also use Midjourney to create your character and then kind of like refine it with Nano Banana Pro. So the big question is how to transform this character into multiple angles, multiple scenes, while maintaining perfect character consistency without having any morphing. So like I told you, when I started, I had an idea in my mind of how I wanted the scene to look like, because I watch a lot of movies, but I didn't know how to transform this image that I had in my mind into a prompt that AI could understand. And that's why I spent like at least 2 hours doing a deep research to make a complete camera prompt library that I'm giving away for free in this video, because I realized that people are bad with AI filmmaking, not because they don't really know what to do, but because they don't know which tool to use and how to call them. So that's why I made the library to solve this issue. But as you can see here, you have all the camera angles, so close-up, extreme close-up, macro shot. It's pretty long, as you can see. And here you have the shots and the movements, so you have like different shots here, and then you have like the camera movements. Then you have the shots separated into 3 categories, so distance, angle, and creative. We're going to see that later on in the video. And for every camera angle, for every movement, you have the whole prompt that you can just like copy and paste, as you can see here, and you can just copy it. And you have the context and emotion. So for example, like the close-up, it's good for like connection, engagement, neutral conversation. And you have a final example here, as you can see, of how a close-up looks like. If I want to do, I don't know, a Dutch angle, I can see that it's more for like psychological tension and danger and stability, and I can take a look at how it looks. So if I want to create something like that, I know it's a Dutch angle, I can just like copy this and paste it into Nano Banana Pro, for example. So if you want to grab it, the link is in the description below. It's completely free. I don't ask for any email or anything, and you can use it for free tools or for paid tools, so it's perfect. All right, so let's start with the first category of shot, the distance shot. And here the principle is pretty simple. The closer we are to the character face, the more emotion we have, the more closeness we have with it, the more we feel what the character is feeling. It's like as if the camera is entering into her emotional space. So let's take a look at different distance shots and what they do. First, we have the eye level close-up. So the camera is at eye level with the character, and we are close enough to see her face clearly. And this is perfect for dialogues, for reactions, for emotional connection. Now, if you want to amplify the emotion, we can do an extreme close-up. This is where we're moving even closer. Now we're filling the frame with just the character's face, and suddenly they become even more vulnerable, even more exposed, because we can read every micro expression. So you can use that if you want the user to feel something deeply. And if you want to take it even further, you can use a macro shot. This is where we focus on a specific feature of the character, for example the eyes or her hand, a detail that tells a part of the story. This creates intense suspense and anticipation. And here again you can see the level of details that Nano Banana gives us. Now on the opposite end, you can go with the wide shot, or what is called the full body shot. This is where we pull way back and we see the character from head to toe. This is used to establish the context. So we're going to see her full outfit, her posture, the environment around her. Basically we see her character in relation with her word. And here's something that I discovered. If you cut from a wide shot to a micro shot, the contrast creates incredible dramatic attention. Again, as you can see, we're using this framework, you can manipulate emotions just by prompting how far or how close you want the character to be from the camera. Alright, so now let's talk about angle shots. This is where we control the power dynamics. So let's start with the high angle shot. This is where the camera will look down on the character, and immediately the character will appear weak, vulnerable, intimidated. As the viewer, we will feel dominant. We are the imposing force. So you can use it when you want the character to feel at the lowest point in the storyline, or maybe if they are facing something bigger than them. Now, if you flip it to the low angle shot, the camera looks up at the character this time, and suddenly the character appears powerful, heroic, intimidating. They are in control now, and now we feel smaller as the audience. So this is the perfect shot if you want to create like a heroic moment when your character is going to do a power move, for example. And then you have the eye level, which is neutral and equal relationship. This is your everyday moment, the dialogue scene, for example. And now here's something that I discovered that nobody's talking about. You can layer these angle shots that we just seen with the distance shot that we've seen before. And for example, you can create a low angle close-up like this one, or even low angle wide shot that will hit different. Alright, so now let's talk about the third type of camera angles, which are called the creative perspective shots. First, over the shoulder. This is where the camera sits behind the character, so we see what they're looking at. This keeps the character in the frame, but we also see her perspective. That's perfect for a conversation or just to see what they're observing at the moment. This is also perfect if you want to create a shared viewpoint between the character and the viewer. Next, the profile shot. I mean, this one is pretty straightforward. You can use it to show thoughtful moments, artistic shots, or even the character thinking about something. Next, the bird's eye view or the overhead shot. So the camera flies directly above the character and looks straight down to her. This emphasizes scale, and you can see that the character looks small, the world looks vast. We almost have a godlike perspective where we not really connect to the emotion of the character, but we see the world. And this is perfect if you want to do a transition between scenes, or if you just want to see how big is the world in which the character is evolving. Now, the point of view shot or the POV shot, this is where the viewer becomes the character. It's basically like a video game. We have an immersive shot, we see the character as they see the scene. Next, we have the Dutch angle or the tilt angle, and immediately everything feels off, it's uncomfortable, it's chaotic, so the character might feel unhinged or the situation might be dangerous. As you can see in my case, I had a lot of like particles or sand elements that are going everywhere. Just be careful to not overuse this effect. Same thing with this one, which is called the silhouette shot, which also can be combined with a wide shot or a close-up shot. And here you would get more dramatic or mysterious vibe. By the way, again, if you feel lost, you have everything in the Notion template with the examples, with the prompt, so don't worry about it. Now, I didn't want to tell you this from the beginning, but there is something that most people don't know about, and this technique is going to save you hours. So instead of generating every angle and spend a lot of time doing it, you can generate 9 different storytelling angles in just one generation. And here's how it works. So you can use this specific prompt structure, and Nano Banana will create a grid, and you can see that each panel shows a different angle of your character, and all of them maintain consistency while telling the story you prompted. Now, why is this powerful? Because Nano Banana understands storytelling. You can get surprising shots that you didn't even think of. So this is basically a storyboard generator, and when the storyboard is generated, you can just extract the specific angle that you want with this specific prompt. As you can see, the character consistency is sometimes not perfect. For example, here you can see that she's missing the tattoo that she has here, which is a shame because that's a great image, but I cannot use it. Same thing for this one, but the rest is completely usable. Now, before we move into animating all these images, there is one crucial step, which is upscaling, because most AI image generators output at low resolution. You will get 1K or 2K image, but what we really need is a 4K crisp image so that you can have amazing video later on. Lucky for us, in Highsfield, you can use a tool called Topaz, which is this one. So you just have to go to Edit here and then go to Topaz. And here you can just import any image that you want and just click on Upscale. And as you can see, you can transform it into a 4K image. And for the free path, you can use a lot of free upscaler online. I will put some in the description below. So the workflow becomes generating your image, upscaling it, and then using it as a first frame for your video generation. Speaking of video generation, now that we have all these images, let's make them move. And the good news is that you can use the free or the paid tool. For the free path, you can go for the LM Arena Discord. You will get 5 free generations per day, and they will give you 2 results from randomly selected generators. It's a bit of a lucky dip, to be honest, but it's a great way to learn. For the paid path, which I went with, again, I use Highsfield, and I use the mix of couple of models, so VO3, Kling 2.6, and Kling 01. So for example, in this case, where I'm using Kling 01, I put it the first frame where she's holding the knife, and the last frame as she's just pulling it. And I just said the woman is pulling her knife, and held camera movement. I selected my model, so Kling 01, 5-second generation, aspect ratio 16:9, and a resolution of 1080p. And then I just clicked on generate, and this is what I ended up with. So that's an example of adding the first and the last frame so that you can get amazing control. Talking about camera movement, the first one that I want to show you is a dolly shot. This is an easy one. The camera is just following the character as they move. So this is perfect if you want to create a smooth cinematic shot while flowing with the character, you know? Next, an orbit or rotate shot. So the camera will circle around the character. This is what we just saw before. So this reveals the environment while keeping the focus on the character. Again, you can use that for like close-up shots, but you can also combine starting with a medium shot and ending with a bird's eye view shot. So for example, here I selected Kling 01 and I started with this medium shot that I added as a first frame. And I wanted the camera to turn around her and finish with the bird's eye view where we see the whole desert and her walking around. Then I just added the orbiting prompt from the Notion template. I selected the right model, so Kling 01, the duration for 5 seconds, the resolution, and I clicked on generate, and this is what I ended up with. As you can see, the camera is perfectly turning around her, and we ended up with this perfect result. Now let me show you what happens if you don't know how to manipulate the camera and how to use Notion template. For example, here I didn't know what to do, so I just said, okay, turn around and just do whatever you want to do. Even if I had the first frame and the last frame, it didn't work. So let's take a look. So as you can see, the camera is turning around on the right, and I wanted the camera to turn on the left. So from the get-go, it didn't follow my instructions. And then as you can see, the AI tries to do the rest, but it doesn't really understand what to do. So I get like a bad result like this one. Then you have the handheld or shaky camera. So it's kind of like a documentary style. I like this one a lot. This creates chaos, urgency, but also realism. And it feels as if you're more like into the action. Then you have the static, so the no movement at all. And sometimes it's just the most powerful shot because it creates a lot of tension, especially if you add some SFX or some music behind it, like I did, for example, in the video that I showed you at the beginning. And then there is the establishing movement. This is perfect if you want to show the scale of the environment where the character is in, basically to see how little she is in comparison to the environment. For example, you can also use it just to show the scale of the adventure that the character is going to follow. You can also have a tilting movement. And as you can see, if you combine it with a Dutch angle and a zoom in, you create a movement where you lose the sense of gravity and you lose perception. Again, I'm not going to cover all the movements, but you have all of them in the Notion library below. Alright, so now let's show you the complete workflow. First step, create your foundation image with either paid or free tools. Just make sure it's perfect because everything flows from this. Step 2, understand the emotion that you want to create. Check the Notion library, look at the emotion and the context guide, and figure out what type of feeling you want to go for. Step 3, generate angles. You can do this one by one using the prompt of the library, or you can use the 9-angle hack to see all of your options at once. Step 4, choose the angle based on the story that you want to tell. Step 5, transform the image into a video. And step 6, edit them together to create a sequence like I showed you at the beginning. Now that's directing and that's filmmaking. So again guys, if you want to use the Notion library, the link in the description below. Tell me also in the comment below which angle you're really excited to use. I read every single comment and honestly that helps me a lot with figuring out what I'm going to do in the next video. And if you want to know how to make UGC AI video ads, I made a full video tutorial just here. I'm going to do more tutorials like this one, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And in the meantime, I see you in the next one. Peace out.